Let's talk about a perspective between good traders and bad traders. In this video, we are going to talk about the differences between good and bad traders, what makes a good trader, and I'm going to leave the very best one at the end, so make sure to stick around. We are going to compare them in 4 different areas, which is confidence, risk management, professionalism, and a very special one at last, which I think is the very important one, as I said. So, starting with confidence. A good trader has a solid back-tested trading plan and he thoroughly believes in it. So no matter if he takes 2, 3, 4, 5 losses in a row, he keeps sticking to his trading plan because he knows that long term, no matter how many losses he takes, he is still going to be profitable. And he knows that by having a profitable edge, he doesn't need to know the sequence between his wins and losses. While a bad trader doesn't have a trading plan, he hasn't back-tested probably anything, he's gambling in the market, and that reflects itself in his confidence. He trades based on his emotions, on what he thinks to be profitable. This doesn't only mean entries, meaning he takes whatever entries he thinks is profitable, but also risk. His trading is going to change a lot based on his emotions. Maybe he wants to take a more aggressive entry when he's more confident, then he's very unconfident and so he doesn't take almost any entries. Maybe he risks more, maybe he doesn't risk as much, which doesn't make sense because there is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. So whatever entry you are setting, whatever pattern you have identified in the market, you are going to have wins and losses in that pattern, and you don't know when the wins and the losses are going to come. And so it doesn't really make sense to variate your risk because there is a random distribution of wins and losses. No matter how confident you are in a trade, no matter how many confluence factors there are in one given trade, it might still result in a loss. And that's why if you stick to risk management, you are much more probable of becoming profitable in the long run, which is perfect to take me to my next point, which is risk management. Bad traders are all over the place with their risk management. Sometimes they risk a lot, sometimes they don't risk much, sometimes they risk a lot, sometimes they don't risk much. It's a never-ending cycle of risking based on your emotions. They are not consistent with their risk parameters, and so they are also not consistent in their results. Risk management is about having a mathematical advantage, meaning that if you are only risking 1%, but your average risk reward is 1 to 5, it means that even if you have 3 losses in a row, that's minus 3%, but if you then take a 5% win, it leaves you with a profit of 2%. And even then, you only had a 25% strike rate, but because you knew you had a mathematical advantage, you knew that long term, if you let probabilities playing out, no matter if you know the sequence of your wins and losses, you are going to be profitable. And that's what having a mathematical advantage is. It's having this mathematical advantage that is going to make you profitable. If you don't have proper risk management and set rules, you are much more probable into becoming reckless because you think, man, I just took 3 losses. Okay, but if I risk 3% right now, I just need to make a 1-to-1 and I'll make my profits back. And then it results in a loss. And you're like, I probably should go for 6%. Oh, I probably should go for 20. Oh my God. Poof. There goes your account. Good traders have an established rule for their risk management. They stick to 1% no matter what it is. I'm not going to tell you what is the best thing for you, but it's something that they are comfortable with. Like if I were to lose 5% in a trade or even like 3%, I would become much more emotional than what I'm doing right now, which is just risking 1%. But this is also based on giving them a mathematical advantage in the long run, because the more that you risk, the compound effect as it is going down, you will need to profit more because you are risking less, so to say. Let's say you have a 100k account and you lose 3 trades in a row where you are risking 3%. All of a sudden 3% of 91,000 is less than 3,000, while 3% of 97,000 is almost similar to 3,000. So the compounding of risking more kind of gives you less of an advantage. But again, if you're confident with it, then go for it. But basically, we can see that good traders have established rules. Bad traders are more based on emotions, which take me to my next point, which is very important, which is professionalism. A good trader thinks of himself as a professional. He takes it seriously. It's his job to stick to his trading plan, to backtest every single day, to forecast every single day, do all these processes that he knows to be crucial to trading success. He knows that the main goal is to preserve capital and have a good risk to reward ratio. Because once again, that is the thing that is going to make him have a mathematical advantage in the long run. The trader that treats trading as his job, meaning that he is putting the work in every single day, is the one that inevitably is going to become successful. A bad trader thinks of trading as a hobby. And as a hobby, you don't really care about becoming professional. You care about having fun. And so you don't really put the work in order to become a professional, in order to have great results. And this reflects in the trades that the bad trader takes. It reflects itself on the amount of risk that the trader takes. All this, if it's not taken professionally, if it's taken as a hobby, it's not going to be taken seriously. And so the probability of failure is a lot higher. And of course, all this is going to reflect itself in his consistency. But he doesn't think that taking it as a hobby is a problem. And that leads me to my last point, which is expectations. I think this is such an important one. Expectations. A bad trader expects to be profitable as soon as they start trading. They think it's easy and they're like, yep, I'm just going to buy pound dollar and it's probably gonna go up. They don't worry about having an edge, backtesting that edge, putting proper risk management, whatever. They just want to make money because their expectation is, this is easy, I can do this. Work? Who do you think you are to be telling them to put the work in and that trading takes time to master? Well, in a way, he's actually right. There's no need for us to be telling these traders that take it as a hobby or have high expectations in a short amount of time that they have to put the work in. Like really, who are we to tell them to put the work in? Us as individuals would be much better off on just putting the work ourselves in and letting the results do the talking. Like this is the best way to influence someone. It's not by you telling them to do something, it's by you doing them and then they looking at the results that you're getting and being like, hey man, how did you do that? And then they are interested in replicating what you did. In this case is working hard, taking trading seriously, having high expectations but also a good time frame in order to achieve those expectations. There's no need to tell others to put the work in. You just put the work in yourself. And no, this is definitely not a video on me telling you to do the things that the good trader does. It's almost like a conversation to me that made me have to write down what I think that a good trader and a bad trader is, and then me knowing what I have to avoid. A good trader simply understands that to become a professional trader, that it takes time, that it takes work. And he understands that nothing good comes fast. Pun intended. Ah, shit. Fuck. Nothing sustainable comes fast. And so he has a long-term mentality. Going back to the professionalism part, he backtests every single day, he forecasts every single day because he knows that that's what it takes. And that's ingrained in his expectations of becoming a profitable long-term trader. And having all this in his expectations is what makes him a good trader. Knowing that it takes time, knowing that it takes work, knowing that it takes long hours. He expects that it's gonna take time. He expects it to take work. And that's what puts him in the right part of the expectations. It's his job, and it's a job that he loves. And he also doesn't have a negative connotation towards a job. Most traders that come into the market expect it to be quick. But time in the market beats timing the market. And you've probably heard this before for stocks, but it's true for any other endeavor which you are trying to succeed at. 90% of traders lose 90% of their capital in the first 90 days. And most of those give up after those 90 days. So time and expectations are the biggest challenge when it comes to trading. So, can you stick to it? Have a great life, everyone.